Hello, and welcome to our Saturday Q&A with Emmanuel. Thank you to all of you who are joining across the globe. Folks from all parts of the world are tuning in today, from Spain, UK, UAE, all parts of Canada and the US, just to name a few. So nice to see you all. We've got people logged into Facebook, Crowdcast, and YouTube. Welcome. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal. I'm with Ascension One Collective, the foundation that supports the work of the channel. I'm here today to ask all your questions. Last we came together, we explored conflict and resolution in an energetic transmission with the Elohim. This week, we will continue to explore this topic with the guide Emmanuel. We will have the opportunity to ask questions of the celestial being. This session, we're launching our new Q&A format. We asked for your questions on the topic of conflict and resolution to be posted this week in our Mighty Networks online community. Thank you to those who submitted. This production team will choose a few of those questions, and we look forward to answering these questions for you today. The energy field pulls us into an interesting collective state. So you may find that if you have a question in mind today, you receive the answer in someone else's question or silently inside yourself. So be open to that. For those who are new, I will explain the process that Asil goes through to open the connection that we refer to as the channel. This is a connection to both powerful energy and wisdom that during the sessions he will embody and bring through. The process for Asil to get into trance includes spontaneous movements of his body and hands, sometimes shaking of his body, fast breathing, and as the energy level rises, sometimes his eyes will roll upwards. It may not seem it, but this is all normal. His everyday human consciousness is still available to him while he's channeling, and he can stop the embodiment at any time. Once the energy field is established, Emmanuel will come through to deliver a wisdom transmission. Then I will ask your questions. As the session ends, we will sit together in silence as Asil comes back into this state of awareness. For people who can support the work, it not only supports Asil, but it supports the whole production team. Many of you have generously supported these Saturday transmissions and all of Ascension One Collective's work. It's truly appreciated, and it really helps us keep this work accessible. We have links to your giving options in the chats. Enjoy your session. I'll see you back here upon your return.
Hello everyone, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining from all over the world. To go deeper into this topic, seemingly since the beginning of human existence, we've had these experiences of being me versus you, or tribal living, survival, limited resources, and fighting over resources. It seemed that conflict, whatever the reason for the conflict was an embedded and integrated aspect of our existence, maybe even biologically driven, maybe even driven by the sheer fact that we are dualistic forms, yet holding non-dualistic consciousness. As we are evolving as a human collective, how does our perception of this reality change? And can we change our operation in this reality? Can we transcend from this dualistic way of perception and operation that includes often conflict into another state, into another perspective of operation? Could we maybe even evolve into a consciousness, living our individualized human forms, but truly having a sense of a collective, of being connected to each other? These are all big questions that we may or may not get the answers for. But this is the reason why we are having these conversations with the Elohim and with Emmanuel, as these voices from higher realms support us in understanding, not just mentally, but also emotionally, energetically, what it means to explore these topics and what it feels like to feel unified existence. There are many people on this live stream from all over the world, all around the world. And I can guarantee you that if we were to put everyone into one room, there would be potential for conflict. There would be potential for challenge, internal challenges, and all that might arise. But what we are experiencing and experimenting with here is, can we get into a unified state of consciousness together? And what does that feel like when seemingly there is no conflict present, no separation present? So thank you for joining us on this journey and for bringing your special and unique flavor to this exploration. Greetings, my name is Emmanuel. All of you have gathered here to understand and explore this topic. And yet, all of the answers lie within you. Our voice, my voice, merely a reminder, a reflection of the many voices that you hold. The perspective of this unified consciousness, a reflection of all that you have always known, yet reminded on an individualized level. It fortifies and solidifies the realization to occur, to emerge from this collective that is gathered here. Therefore, you listening to the words, you listening to the energy, you allowing these words to impact you deeply has a significant impact on the collective's evolutionary process. You internalize these learnings, and through you, the collective internalize the learnings. This new perspective is merely the entry point to the greater realizations that come along with this perspective itself. This new perspective already holds a new frequency, a state of being, a state of perception, opening the doorway to many new ways of perceiving. Therefore, in itself, this learning itself is not isolated, yet connected to many other realizations. Thank you for listening, for receiving, and integrating these realizations. In a world where seemingly all that you are, all that you ever will be, is this human form. In a world where this human form relies on the resources, on what this earth provides to you, in a world where this human form lives and dies with impact from the outside, in a world where all your offspring, your loved ones, your chosen family, you care for more than possibly others. In a world where you identify as you and others as them, you will always be experiencing the dualistic nature of this established reality. Yet experiencing the dualistic nature of this reality and responding, acting and operating in dualistic ways are two different ways. You can indeed live this dualistic form and hold a non-dualistic perspective and state of being. state of presence. While you will wonder how the lives of those that you love and your own life might be impacted by observing the dualistic nature of this world, the dualistic actions of others. While you may wonder how to observe and operate in this reality if pain is an intrinsic element of this life. Emotions arise, thoughts arise, requesting actions. And maybe in an immediate moment of observation, no action is the best answer to all that is occurring. Observation and allowance of that which is unfolding to come to a realization, to come to a completion. At times, intervention will be necessary. At times, correction, support, kindness, and human action will be necessary. Yet even with all your actions, can you observe a certain neutrality? Can you hold a non-dual perspective? Can you observe the judgments shifting and distorting your viewpoints to become dualistic? The intensity of emotions solidifying a specific perspective to be true. The journey to resolving the conflict inside is the journey of embracing the non-dual aspect of yourself. And embracing the non-dual aspects of yourself in a dualistic form is a significant feat for every human being. It is an evolutionary process. It will require you to observe yourself in all its details. It will require you to witness your innermost greatest fears to be with you, your greatest challenges and challengers to emerge from within. Yet knowing and understanding that you are held, trusting the nature of this reality, the nature of this existence, to hold you in this life, to carry you through this life, to support you in every experience that you seek, that humanity seeks, is the journey of evolution. Many of you will witness conflict outside and assume that the solutions are within them to provide to this outside solution. Yet, societal conflict does not stem from an individual alone. And therefore, it is a collective, conscious effort to come to realization around this conflict that has been established as a byproduct of a misalignment in the societal and the consciousness construct of the collective itself. Collective realizations occur in moments like these, where the collective finds a conscious space to allow the misalignment to emerge and all perspectives along with this misalignment to be present. All perspectives to be held equally, to be seen and felt equally. And as this collective gathering holds a specific conflict in conscious intention and attention, allowing for all perspectives to emerge, represented by the many individuals witnessing this misalignment, realizations will start to emerge as a natural byproduct of this focused attention. A practice, a collective transformational act, a collaborative, non-dualistic support for humanity as your consciousness. Many of you have witnessed conflict resolving through action and consistent, deliberate response. Many of you have wondered if non-response would merely expand the conflict, and fuel a continuation, an intensification of the conflict itself. Yet non-action does not just mean that you're not present with the conflict. Non-action does not mean that your focused attention to realizations and the transmutation of the conflict is not impacting the conflict equally as powerfully as direct physical action could. The iterations of conflict, the response to conflict, and new arising conflict as a result of it is an iterative process of learning and realizations that may take many iterations to complete, many generations to finalize. And you have witnessed generational conflict within humanity. It is time to operate in non-linear ways, to allow conflict to resolve from a consciousness level and perspective. It is your time to provide your presence and your ability for silence and collective gathering to allow conflict to resolve from within and without. Thank you for listening to my words. I will now answer some of your questions.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Cheryl asks, how can we motivate enough people to look inward so that we can find collective realizations and come to conflict resolution, especially in cases of extreme polarized view or complete disregard for the conflict?
Humanity's experience, a human being's experience, immediate physical, emotional, and mental response to a circumstance outside. Therefore, a conflict outside triggers an immediate internal response. Very few will understand that this immediate internal response is the conflict outside residing within you. Very few will understand that it is time for you to witness this conflict inside and understand in which ways you're impacted by the reminders and the mirrors outside. Very few will take the time to sit and contemplate. They will be subject to a natural and organic evolutionary process occurring through the many souls that consistently seek realization. Some individuals will realize naturally through the impact of the collective. Some individuals will never provide a conscious act towards self-realization. This does not make these individuals less valuable than others. It's just merely where they are in their evolutionary process, in their presence, and in their service to humanity. Other individuals will seek conscious choice and conscious realization, an inner empowerment that allows them to see circumstances and situations arising outside and inside to be part of an evolutionary process for themselves and for humanity. They will seek the observation. They will seek the deeper understanding and the deeper awareness of what is emergent in the moment. Therefore, polarities will continue to exist in this dualistic form until the collective has come to an understanding of its non-dualistic nature. For you and others that have seen the power of this collective gathering, of this connection with each other, will know and understand the power of transformation, the power of realization that can emerge from these collective gatherings. And as a result, impacting humanity through gaining self-realization individually and as a collective. Some of you may see no correlation to your self-realization with the circumstances and the situations of the world outside. Some of you will feel and will expect that you operate in your own silo, separate from the operations of this world. Yet your inner operations are intrinsically connected to the operations of the outside world and reality. A direct correlation, a direct connection is always present. It is through the choice that you make to find the space for this contemplation individually and as a collective. The shift that occurs within you, the shift that occurs within the group itself, the shifts that occur to the immediate connections and relations of this group seeking a greater alignment and greater realizations. Individuals will naturally be resonant and attracted to the field and the energy established by this group. It will be a natural process, an organic evolutionary seeking. Less so a mental understanding, less so a convincing, or even an educational aspect of someone's reality. A curiosity sparked within, a soul seeking to awaken. will be the driving force for their participation in resolving conflict inside and outside. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Rosa asks, does emotional conflict create a health problem? How can we identify the emotional conflict associated with the health problem and be conscious to resolve both, if so?
All conflicts are considered misalignments within and outside. A tension between the many aspects of your being. Emotional conflict is equally a misalignment in your emotional state and construct. All misalignment can lead to physical misalignments and physical sickness. The misalignment internally, emotional misalignment with yourself, and emotional misalignment with others will seek to resolve, will seek to realize. And if in the moment all your resources, all your attention and intention cannot resolve this emotional conflict with another, it is recommended to find space and time for yourself to resolve it within yourself first. To give this inner conflict space and time to provide you all the perspectives that it holds. Finding emotional alignment within will naturally impact the alignment of the other bodies, including your physical. Therefore, all bodies and all alignments within are interconnected. Conflict within any of the bodies, misalignment within any of the bodies has an impact on the others as well. And naturally, an internal misalignment will seep into your life and into your relationships and potentially establish misalignments outside to remind you of the misalignments inside. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Chung asks, in the higher realms, there is by definition more integration of all views. Does conflict happen in the higher realms? If so, do we in our lower realm simply accept that conflict is part of life, using it as a mechanism for learning about our role within the whole, and the resolution is the outcome of the learning?
In this material form, humanity is experiencing a dualistic experience while being a non-dualistic consciousness. Many other forms equally have experienced the material form in its dualistic nature. And many other forms have experienced and are currently experiencing dualistic forms in non-material nature. Therefore, a higher plane of existence, higher constituting its frequency, while not being materialized, can still be dualistic. Dualistic forms exist in higher and lower planes, in higher and lower frequencies. After a certain frequency, after a certain plane of existence, duality can no longer be established and requires naturally a non-dual form to hold its frequency at that level of existence. All dualistic forms, all dualistic planes of existence will have challenges, experimentation and exploration through individualization, through separation, and the resulting unifications. Therefore, all dualistic forms and all dualistic planes serve the evolution of consciousness as well, in different ways than you have experienced. Humanity will go through conflict and challenge in its dualistic form, will understand that it is a non-dualistic consciousness in a dualistic reality. Will learn to understand that this temporary illusion, this experience of the human form, will result eventually in a unification with all of consciousness of humanity. Not all resources are transient. Not all connections and relations are transient. And all that is left behind is the power of the moment, the beauty and the love that is accessible in this very moment. And in this moment, consciousness evolves through you. In this moment, consciousness experiences through you. In this moment, you are the direct expression of consciousness in human form. Higher planes merely seek and operate in different ways and seek learning and realization through different means. A frequency change, a state change allows for unique kinds of experiences and unique relations within themselves as a consciousness, unified and separated, and with other forms of consciousness on the same planes of existence. For now, your focus shall be in this human form and the significant spectrum of experiences that are available in this human form. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Anne asks, the crisis in Ukraine has been an excellent opportunity for those living far away from the conflict to use their consciousness to support the creation of a world free of such conflict. Many of us have been holding meditations, vigils, and events. How can humans become more effective in supporting peace and an end to conflict energy in war-torn countries?
you're witnessing this conflict and the challenges that this conflict has brought up into your life and into the lives of many. You observe the conflict with intensity and curiosity, with emotions and judgments. Conflict itself will always resolve. It is just a matter of time. And if you observe this conflict and the grand scheme and scale of conflicts that humanity has faced, you will notice that many forces are active to resolve this conflict, to come to realizations, and to seek greater alignment. More so than it has occurred in the past with other conflicts that humanity has faced, conflicts that have lasted decades, conflicts that have lasted hundreds of years. As you can see, this conflict has sparked a desire to evolve, a desire to realize, and a desire to align collectively. While you may currently wait to see the immediate outcome and the efficacy of your efforts, you shall know and rest, knowing that your efforts are showing result. That you and all of those that have put their attention, focus, and presence into resolving this conflict with all resources available to you in this very moment are bearing fruit and are impacting humanity at a grander scale. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Alicia asks, what is the effect of accelerated evolution on our lifetimes? Are we quickening our completion point, expanding our lives to encompass the challenges of successive generations, or perhaps recreating the time templates of humanity?
A non-linear evolutionary process that you're undergoing, considered an accelerated evolutionary process, an accelerated self-realization journey, is required as your presence on this earth, as your impact in human form on this material form of the earth is succeedingly detrimental to humanity's existence, as well as the existence of all life forms on this planet. An accelerated evolutionary process is required to bring humanity to greater understanding of its impact and of its actions. Therefore, an accelerated evolution of your consciousness will naturally impact all your actions taken, all your actions considered, and all perspectives to be held as a collective, choices to be made from this perspective of unified state of being. While you learn through your actions, when actions become self-destructive, the learning cannot complete in material form. The evolution of this consciousness requires for its self-realization to occur in material form, to feel and to become complete with this material form. The collective itself must reach a state of being, a state of realization, and a state of frequency that no longer requires the physical form before the physical form itself is destructed by the actions of humanity. Therefore, accelerated evolution is a welcomed and sought out activity, choice, and state. You as individuals and you as collectives seeking, supporting, and fueling this accelerated evolution within yourselves and within your communities, within your countries, within your nations. This is your impact on the evolution of consciousness and the impact that this evolution will have on all living beings of this earth, including yourselves. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Martha asks, in situations where there has been a prolonged time of conflict with seemingly no resolution, how can we discern the difference between conflict to be resolved and conflict that is not for the highest good, but is instead a signal to exit a relationship? Is there such a distinction?
Some conflicts outside will spark the understanding and the reflections needed for the conflicts inside. Conflicts inside occurring at the same time as conflicts outside may require independent attention, may require you considering solitude, to tend to what is occurring within you, to understand all relational dynamics within yourself, all emotions, all unresolved conflicts of your past within you. Not all conflicts outside can be resolved by conflicts that are occurring from within. Conflicts outside also require the willingness, the attention, and the desire of participating parties to desire the resolution, to desire an evolution, and to desire the self-realization required. While you may come to a realization and increase your understanding of who you are, of who you want to be, of all the relationships you can hold, others may find themselves in a journey different than yours, both unique in experience and unique in timeline. Allow them to have the space, the time to resolve their conflicts at their own choosing. You are, after all, the master of your life, and that is the one that you can truly focus on. Starting internally first and witnessing the impact of all that is arising internally on all relationships outside. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Kim asks, can you speak more about the power of the present when resolving inner conflict so that external conflict can be resolved? Is it really as simple as getting into a state of silence, alignment, and presence?
The present moment carries the potential to resolve all conflict, carries the potential to bring you into self-realized states. In a present moment that you seek silence, contemplation, reflection, you increase the probability and the potentiality of resolution and realizations to emerge. This is the fertile ground that you provide. The fertile ground, yet, for many, has not found its potency. Individuals seeking silence must first overcome the voices of the mind, the many thoughts filled with questions, doubts, and fears, judgments and opinions, many perspectives held with the impact of the past. Many individuals hold emotions unexpressed, emotions filtered and suppressed, compartmentalized, only to discover these emotions in a moment of silence, feeling the overwhelm of that silence. Many individuals will discover the pains and the misalignments of their physical form and the lack of attendance that this physical form has received. All of these aspects will require attention with priority before allowing the fertile ground for realizations to emerge. Silence is merely the starting point. Yet the deeper states that you get to, the deeper alignments that you find yourself in, the non-dualistic states that you enter will become a significant fertile ground for transformation of your own, the transformation of your life, and the transformation of humanity. And you are that individual to impact the collective. You have that power through your present moment, your chosen conscious exploration of self-realization. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your time, Emmanuel.
Thank you for listening to my words. Thank you for receiving this gift of ours on your journey of evolution. Thank you all for joining. This is truly one of my most favorite things to do in life, to connect with all of you, to explore these deep topics, not just on a mental level, but really on an energetic, spiritual level. To feel all of your presence in this space, energetically, the collective. I see incredible potential for humanity. I see incredible possibility for humanity. And I don't see it as pessimistic or negative as I used to. I do truly believe that we have that power to make a difference. Thank you all for joining.
Well said, Asil. Welcome back, everyone. Take your time to come back into your body. Take any extra time you need in a sitting or lying position, or stay in this state as long as you need to. As we're coming back, I have a few gentle closing remarks. We care about the impact our work has on the world, and most importantly, we want to know how these energy transmissions and these words impact you. We've created a short survey for you to share about your experience with this transmission. Please consider filling out this form after the transmission. Click on the link at the bottom of the screen in Crowdcast or in the chats on our social media platforms to access this survey. If you'd like to continue this journey with Ascension One, there's many ways to do it. We are thrilled to announce our second accelerated ascension with the Stargate experience. This year's workshop will be broadcasted from magical Glastonbury, June 7th through the 9th. This will be 3 days of moving beyond the leading edge of consciousness. We have the link to register in the chats, and we hope to see you there either virtually or in person. For those of you who have taken the first steps in the Sacred Earth Practitioner's Path, specifically including foundations, our next training course, Sacred Earth Practitioners Evolution Level, starts in just a few days on April 12th. We look forward to you joining us in this next stage of the Sacred Earth Practitioner's Path. If you've taken foundations, you can find the link to the course sign up within November's Foundations Mighty Networks program. Tomorrow is the last day to register, so if you intend to join us, please sign up this weekend. For newcomers, you can like and follow us on social media. You can access previous transmissions and their transcripts on our website. Go deeper. We have a home for all of Ascension One Collective's online community and Mighty Networks. If you've not already joined our online community, you can do so by the invitation link placed in the chat. This is the place for you to explore and connect with this community and its members. Within Mighty Networks, you can access our upcoming Saturday live stream schedule and our weekly Monday transmission series, Integration Calls, where we gather to discuss the transmissions and the impact that they have on our daily lives. There will be many opportunities to engage in workshops and training courses, to deepen your practice and to integrate the energy and the wisdom of the guides throughout the year. We send event and program announcements as they become available through Mighty Networks. So if you want the latest updates, we recommend you joining us on our online community. This work is possible because of your support. As you would imagine, it takes a village to bring the channel to this space and then beam it out to all of you. If you find this of value, please consider supporting us to keep this work accessible. There are links to the chat. There are links in the chat with options for giving. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for contributing your presence and your time. We feel the love and support you have for one another and for us, and we're deeply grateful. Take it easy after the session. Give space for the energy to continue to work. If you can, keep your mind quiet. If you can't, bring this presence and peace to whatever it is you need to do. I feel the serenity emanating from all of you, and it fills my heart with joy. Take care.